assuming these starters don't play Thursday night, how ready do you think the defense is going to be for week one?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is right now, but I think we're in a good space as far as the work that we've been putting in. Obviously, we don't play next week, so still a whole lot more work to be done. I know we get a couple more guys back that's been, kind of hurt throughout training camp, but I mean, it's been good. For the most part, a lot of guys have been able to be out there just playing together the whole training camp, and just kind of just developing that chemistry, that bond that we need to go out there and win games. But like I said, man, we're not done working yet. We still have a lot more time till our first game. So that's what the focus is right now, continuing to get better.
We hear a lot about that chemistry that the defense has. What does that look like on the field when the ball is snapped? What is that chemistry? How does it come alive?
Yeah, I really think it just at the end of the day it's just you seeing guys playing fast. I think that's chemistry as a whole. The time that we spend outside of the building, the time that we spend in the building, all that stuff go towards us playing fast on Sundays or whatever day we plan on. And you can't get to that speed obviously without going through some turbulence. You know what I mean? So, just developing that routine, developing that chemistry. Like I said, guys are hanging out outside of the building, whether it's going out to eat, you know, maybe even go to the mall, go to the movie, whatever it may be. Guys are finding ways to connect. Guys are finding ways to learn more about the individual. And when you sit down and really have a conversation with another player, you may be like, you know what, I didn't know this about you. Being in the building every day. But now that we chilled a little bit more, now I know you more, and that trust factor going into the field, knowing that your brother's going to show up for you to make that play. I mean, that's the lead that we play, and that's the game that we play. So, just having that experience and being able to do that, I mean, it's going to make the team 10 times better.
Kyler was just telling us he feels like it's an uncommon culture that you guys are building this year. How would you compare the culture now to, I guess, this time last year?
I mean, I think anytime like you have extra time and like, I mean, last year was a lot of our first times being together. If not first time, was a lot of those players second year together. Anytime that you can take that, it's like any type of relationship you have, whether it's a friendship, you know what I mean? Like each year is going to get a little bit better. You learn about the person, you learn about, things that may have worked, you learn about things that didn't work. And I mean, you find a way to make it better. And I think that's what it is now. I think it's about really just guys being themselves. Like I tell everybody every day, like you don't have to show up being nobody that you're not. Like for me, I trust the individual more. I respect the individual more if you show up as your authentic self. And that's who I try to show up to be every day. And at the end of the day, I think we have a lot of guys that, what you see is what you get. It's not like I'm going to show up as this person. I'm going to try to be this person. But behind, closed doors, I'm this person. It's like, nah, like it's a genuine person. And I think when you have a group of genuine people, I think that bond and like that energy that you feel, like it's just naturally going to feel different. And that's nothing to say. Like last year was a lot figuring it out. Even this year, still figuring it out. We got a lot new pieces still, but like I said, there's a lot of us have played together. A lot of us know, I kind of know how this guy is. Like I know his personality. I know, as funny as it sounds, things that might, make him smile or things that get on his nerve, whatever it may be. Like that type of relationship and that type of energy, man, is what drives, winning football teams. And like we developing that, man. We still developing it now. And it's like an ongoing process, you know what I mean? Like you don't just develop that in the off season or training camp and then that's it. Nah, you develop that through the adversity you face throughout the year. You know what I mean? It's gonna be ups, it's gonna be downs, but the stuff that we building now is what's gonna get us over that hump.
How has Caleb Williams fit into that? How has he fit into that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to what I just said. Like, if like he's his authentic self, you know what I mean? Like he shows up to be who he is. And I think that's just the number one thing that you could do as a leader because he's in a leadership role. He's the quarterback of our football team. And when he shows up to be himself, I think guys just naturally gravitate towards that. And obviously his work on the field and like his performance on the field is gonna speak for itself. But him as a person, like I said, he's just himself and guys respect that.
I mean,
How
there were
much
go ahead,
does it
Cheryl.
mean that he mentioned the defense immediately at the postgame the other day?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just like we work hard here at practice. You know what I mean? That's not just defense, that's offense too. And throughout this whole training camp, even off season, when he got here, like we've been competing. You know what I mean? We trash talk to one another. You know what I mean? We joke around. But at the end of the day, when we stepped out there on that field, man, we competing against one another. And the whole goal of that is to make each other better. Like when you have offense trying to make defense better, defense trying to make offense better, special teams making each other better, like that's a dynamic football team. And I think that's just what the focus has been. Like, nah, let's come out here because we know at the end of the day the pieces that we have on both sides. And if we can push each other day in and day out, that makes the game easier. You know what I mean? So we try to push ourselves at practice, make it as hard as we can, challenge one another. So come game time, it's like, you know what? I done seen this before. You know what I mean? Like, I can go out there and perform at a high level.
You guys had a decent amount of solid open field tackles in the game the other day. Have you noticed that? Is the tackling better?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, it's definitely, I would say, better. I think that's just, the focus that we put on it. We do a lot of tackling drills at practice, and just it's unique to see it, show up in the game now. Obviously, we know the work we put in, but just so that everybody else see it, I think that's definitely, put a smile on my face, man, because I know how much we practice it, you know what I mean? And just seeing those guys make those plays, I mean, I can't even name because like you just said it, man. Each guy, I mean, it goes down the line, man. We had a lot of guys stood out to me, but that's something that we practice day in, day out.
You mentioned the work you guys as a defense have put in to kind of sharpen Caleb. I'm curious, over the last month, what have you learned about Caleb as you guys have frustrated him and pushed him to be better? What have you learned about him that you didn't know before?
Can you ask that question one more time?
Yeah, just as you guys as a defense have kind of pushed Caleb and made things really tough on him, and he's had good practice and bad, what have you learned about him as a quarterback and as a leader of how he's handled those
Yeah, I think, like I said, man, this league, you're gonna have good moments. You're gonna have, moments that you want back. Everything is a learning experience. You know what I mean? I think great decision making coming with making mistakes before. Whatever a mistake may be, whether you messed the call up, whether through an interception, whatever it may be, like that's an experience to get better. And I think the thing that I've learned, like he's a competitor. Like ain't nothing gonna slow him down. You know what I mean? Like something may have didn't go his way, but at the end of the day, you're gonna come out that next play, still talking, still being himself, confidence level still high, and he ready to ball. And that's what I respect the most, man. Cause a baller want to play with a ball at the end of the day. So, when I see him out there and like he don't, it's like next shot. You know what I mean? Like golfers use that term. Like it's like, nah, I'm going to the next play. Now it's time to go ball. I'm about to make a play. I'm about to make something happen. So that's definitely something that I learned.
Tremaine, if Saturday was your last preseason game, that'll mean it's 22 days until the start of the regular season. It's a long time. How do you maintain the momentum that you guys have built up and keep that focus through training camp where, it's kind of the end of the dog days of training camp?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. We still working. You know what I mean? I know that's the last game, but we still got a lot more practices until our first game. So it's still like keep that intensity that we've been having. Keep going hard at practice day in and day out because, I mean, we making each other better. You know what I mean, on both sides, and that's our approach. It's not like it's our last game and we gonna slow it down. You know what I mean? Nah, like we still going, and we out there practicing hard, pass, all that type of stuff. I mean, it's in a training camp, but at the same time, like we still getting ourselves ready to go for the first week.
Tremaine, what's jumped out at you about Gerald Everett?
Yeah, his athleticism for one. Obviously he's a tight end, but GE is like a receiver out there, man. He's crafty. Obviously he has good speed, good size. Got strong hands. You know what I mean? Like he can pretty much do it all out there as far as at the tight end position. I mean, anytime you have somebody like that dynamic, obviously it draws a lot of eyes on the defense. So he been working hard out there, man. G's gonna do his thing for sure.
Kyler missed some time. What was it like to have him back, and what impressed you about his play on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I just turned the film on. He was all over the field making plays, whether it was blitzing, whether it was, pass coverage, his run fits. It's almost like he been out there with us the whole time. I mean, he didn't miss one beat, still playing fast, still making the plays that we know he know how to make. And it was just I was excited to see him back out there, man, having fun, man. That was the number one thing he told me. That was the first thing he was like, man, I'm telling you, bro, I missed it out here with y'all boys. But it was crazy to see it because Kyler been making plays like that. But just seeing him out there doing it with a smile on his face, because nobody wanted to be hurt. But just seeing him out there doing it with a smile on his face, man, I was happy for him.
Tremaine, in Buffalo, obviously, you came up with Josh as a rookie, establishing himself and obviously becoming now one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Do you find yourself kind of privately thinking about Caleb in terms of that kind of progression and kind of that track record for where he can go?
It's kind of different, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, we came in together. To be honest, I was growing with him. You know what I mean? I was a rookie the same time Josh was a rookie, so I couldn't really have as many eyes, obviously, on Josh as I have on Caleb, just because the dynamic is a little bit different. You know what I mean? I was going through my things. I'm still gonna be going through my things now, but difference is I was a rookie then. But like I said, so it's a process, man. You gotta treat it as such.
In your time here, have you had any favorite glimpses about kind of what this team means to Chicago and what this season could be kind of in a local level? Like, what's your favorite kind of Chicago-specific moment since you've been here?
You put me on the spot with that one.
A favorite, like, I don't know, it's.
Oh man. Honestly, I think it's just like feeling the energy, whether it's here at practice, whether it's like when we show up on game day, like you could just feel that energy. That energy is contagious. And like, as a player, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure you deliver for the city because you know you have a lot of people behind you. You know what I mean? And I think that's the number one thing that stood out to me. Even from like when I got here last year, like I understood that. Like even with it being such a big city, it's like, nah, like they really bleed, Chicago Bears out here. And it's like, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure you put a smile on everybody's faces because that's just what competitors do. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want to do it for the reasons you do it for, but at the same time, and when you know you have a city behind you, and when you know the people are, hungry for a win, like you're gonna want to do everything in your power to deliver for it.
Thanks, Tremaine.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
The sack that you got, did Coach Eberflus talk to you about potentially punching out the football on that one?
Everybody did, yeah. Definitely.
Do you like seeing more of that? I mean, it feels like there's been more blitzes, whether from the secondary or the linebackers. Do you like, I assume that you guys like that.
Yeah.
Like calling that.
I mean, definitely. Everyone loved the blitz, get aggressive, sack the quarterback, sack fumble, tackle for losses. Yeah, everyone loves that.
Have you noticed that? Has there been more of that, at least in this training camp, more pressure being dialed up?
I mean, yeah. I guess you could say that for sure. I mean, we practice a bunch of different things. We get a bunch of reps at it, so yeah, you could say that.
What's it like for your room when you did what you did Saturday and then Blackwell comes in and makes some plays he did? How much kind of pride do you guys all take together in that room?
I would say a lot. I mean, that's kind of the expectation. No drop off, keep the standard, and our standard is excellence. And so, from rookie to vet, however many years you've been playing here, whatever the depth is, like that's just how we see it in our room, how we want it to be.
What did you think of Blackwell?
It was great. Nice. Caused a fumble, sack fumble, went in the air, got an interception, whatever they made it. A lot of good plays, good on special teams. He's a baller. He's been around. He's gonna be around for a while. So yeah.
Kyler, if you don't play in this preseason game against the Chiefs, do you feel like you'll be ready for week 1?
Most definitely.
What makes you say that?
Preparation. I'm gonna take myself through the same thing I did, the same way I prepared when I was out, and come back to play. It would be the same way I take myself through all things I do, whether it's film, technique on the side, stuff I do with my teammates and coaches on the side, after, before practice, and yeah.
You've been here on some teams that have been promising and some that have had bad records. How would you characterize the excitement around this year, kind of compared to the last couple?
The way I characterize it, I feel like it's just a surge of energy, and that's kind of like the way I felt since the day we came in from the first day. Like, everyone just like starving. Like, everyone wants to eat some type of way, however it is, and we really just build off each other as far as making plays, doing our job, assignment, and just the kind of culture we all created within the locker room. It's kind of uncommon culture. Not be the same as everybody else, and we know we want to strive to do and stuff like that. So I just say a real positive surge of energy.
Uncommon.
The chemistry. Especially like from the way I've seen my rookie year coming all the way to where we are now. Even still being young, but like the way that we do talk, critique, like positively critique, and get on each other, and the accountability, the way we hold each other to the standard and stuff like that is just we're on top of it 24/7, really.
You mentioned, this is a relatively young team in the sense of who's been on the Bears for, not that long. And I'm curious, are there people that you consider to be kind of the culture carriers, or, how do you kind of balance uncommon culture with the Chicago Bears organization and all the history that means?
I would say it's a combination of things. There's definitely you get a lot of different pieces from everywhere. We got vets from a bunch of different teams, and so to be able to put all those pieces together and take information from guys that are older or guys who've been on different teams, and but guys with the same type of mindset, I think that's a big thing. So being able to combine all those different things and make it one whole thing that is one solo mission that we all want to accomplish, like it makes it really easy.
You talked a lot last year about getting the game to slow down for you after your rookie season. Now that you're in year 3 in this defense, in this role, how do you describe the kind of mental comfort you have on the football field?
Yeah, I say as far as comfortability wise, it's just like how I'm gonna make this next play. I'm gonna make this next play, or really that's how I would say. And just elevating that and trying to just make more turnovers, more big plays, more exciting plays, and yeah, I mean the slower it gets, I feel like the more opportunities I see.
I know it's a preseason game, but Flu styled up, especially when you were in that first unit, a lot of blitzes. What does that say just about how aggressive he is, like kind of developed into as a play caller, and what you got, that type of edge you guys are gonna bring this year?
Yeah, I feel like it's like less sitting back and put more pressure, and I feel like we all like that, and just applying the pressure on whoever our opponent is, and I mean, I like to blitz. Everyone likes to blitz. Everyone likes to be the aggressor, not the receiver. So I feel like that's the kind of approach we're taking.
Couple more guys, probably the best receiving core ever here. You've been here for a few years. What are defenses gonna have to deal with that face guys, the three receivers that we have?
Yeah, just the versatility and how we can attack them at all three levels, whether short, deep, medium. Got a bunch of different, wide variety of type of bodies that we got from Keenan, DJ, Rome, Tyler Scott, like a bunch of different guys, Dante Pettis. Like you got a bunch of different guys that can do a bunch of different things. So yeah, that's what I say.
To that end, is Rome the most polished rookie receiver you've gone against as a pro?
I mean, I just got back, so I've definitely get my reps against him. But yeah, no, definitely he's a really hard worker, humble dude, and all he wants to do is get better, and that's all I see from him. And so it's exciting to see.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Gerald, there's been a lot that's been made about Caleb's ability to adjust on the fly.
Right.
What did you learn about him from those first three series on Saturday where the offense went 3-0, and just how he was able to bounce back from that?
Well, just being able to just keep going no matter what's thrown at him. Being a rookie quarterback, I can't imagine the pressure that's on him. But going through an NFL install from training camp to now, I mean, leading up to week 1, just seeing him handle it, just roll with the punches is a sight to see. But watching him perform on Saturday, not Sunday, was also a sight to see. And rolling out pocket presence, vision down the field, and hitting Rome in stride. I mean, I can't say enough about Caleb, and I'm sure he'll be even more exciting in the future.
We've talked a lot about the receiving core here, but with you and Cole, what ways can you guys create mismatches by being two proven tight ends playing at the same time?
Both vertically and laterally. Cole and I have two different skill sets. Obviously, him being much bigger than me, a traditional tight end, me being a move tight end. We like to be on the field as much as we can together, but I mean, being interchangeable, we don't see a limit for our group, or let alone for Cole and I. And I mean, obviously, Caleb will use us to his best advantage.
How would you describe Caleb Williams' demeanor on the sidelines when things aren't going your way to start that game, 3 and outs? What was he like on the sideline, to, I guess, carry through to later success?
He was poised. He didn't seem rattled at all. I mean, I know he has a lot of attention on his back right now, and obviously being a number one guy in the draft, number one guy, Heisman winner, just rolling with the punches, like I said before, and being poised. And Caleb's a stand-up guy, confident in himself, and we have the utmost confidence in him as well.
You've had really consistent production in every offense.
Right.
Mm-hmm. What you've seen so far in this one, pretty much the same or more? I mean, what kind of idea do you get now that you've seen this offense relative to what you think you can do in it?
I'm very optimistic in my capabilities in this offense, as I've been in each other team I've played for, and obviously following Shane here, I don't see it being any different. But having a great teacher in him and in Jim, and with Flus as a head coach, I mean, obviously I remain optimistic this year in Chicago and hope that I can be the best player for myself and for the organization.
If the starters don't play on Thursday, what do you guys need to accomplish over the next 2 weeks to make sure that, as an offense, you're ready for week 1?
Well, just making sure we rise to our full potential and just pushing each and everybody each and every day, really, whether it be coach or player. Just seeing how far we can take this thing day by day, treating every day like a game, and we're going against one of the best defenses. So, they're giving us great looks, and we're going to keep doing that.
The amount of weapons that are in talent that are in this offense, how has Shane shown you as a play caller, having been with him at other stops, that he's, capable of driving this Ferrari?
Right. Well, just having different variables. I saw him with Sean McVay's staff, having Cooper Kupp, myself, Todd Gurley, et cetera, to Seattle and DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson, and then I left and then went to LA, and now we're back. So he's got another set of variables, and in that receiver room, they have a lot of weapons. In our tight end room, a lot of weapons. In the backfield, a lot of weapons. So more variables for him to play around with. So it'll be like a chess match.
What's the coolest thing you've seen Keenan do on a football field?
The coolest thing, I would have to say his blocking in the run game. A lot of receivers, really, in my personal experience, don't really put that much attention to detail in that, knowing that they're one of the greats, future Hall of Famer, and just being infectious in this room, being infectious to his team, and watching him come to work every day while we played with the Chargers the last 2 years. He definitely inspired me to just keep going, really just keep going and be my best self.
With Rome having as big of a role with the ones and the starters throughout the preseason, how have you and the vets, whether it's Keenan, yourself, DJ, how have you guys seen his growth from the beginning to where it is now? Like, what stood out to you the most just about how NFL ready he is?
Just his comfortability, his level of comfortability from day one of OTAs till now. I mean, I watched a couple of his games at UW when I was in Seattle, just across the bridge, and not knowing we'd be future teammates in Chicago, but watching both he and Caleb's growth has been phenomenal. Really, just watching those two young rookies go head to head against a great defense and DBs and practice. So, I mean, I don't think it'll really have a limit to those two, let alone to Rome's capabilities. I mean, as you saw, he brought that great deep ball in over the shoulder while the guy was draped all over him. So I can't wait to see week 1.
What were your first impressions of Rome when you were watching him at Washington?
Smooth guy. He had some nice touchdown celebrations. I think I caught a couple of his highlights probably before I left Seattle, and I don't know if that was leading up to their bowl game or not, but yeah, Rome's an exciting player, and I can't wait to play with him.
You go against this defense every day in practice.
Right.
Do you feed off the energy knowing, like, now that you've seen what kind of defense this is, do you feed off that energy like, oh, we're going in also with this, all these offensive weapons, but a really top 10?
For sure. And just the competitiveness and the level that we have on both sides of the ball. Iron sharpens iron, and in this great city of Chicago, we're definitely trying to callous each other and take that throughout the course of the season and into the postseason.
Back to Keenan, when you look at the production, the consistent production he's been able to have over the last 7 or so years, what's most impressive about that to you?
About Keenan?
Yeah.
It's just preparation, consistency, just being clutch, battling injury, getting older, which we all will do. Just being reliable, no matter what game we're playing or the weather condition or the crowd, or we got blew out by Vegas last year and he still was just competing and performing. So it doesn't really matter what the scenario is or the circumstance. Just seeing him be the same guy, even when I was with the Rams, watching him from across the way. Even when he was in San Diego, just making plays, and it hasn't stopped yet, so I don't think it'll stop anytime soon.
From the start of camp to now, where do you feel like this offense has gained the most comfort level heading into week 1?
Probably through game reps, just challenging each other in the film room and being honest with one another, really just everybody being coachable and just being understanding of the full scheme of things and on a broader pitch, on a broader scale, just where we could really take this team and take this offense.
Cole was telling us last week that when the lights go on for the preseason games, Caleb's a little bit different. The competitive juices amp up a little bit. In what ways have you noticed Caleb Williams, I guess, change or that switch flips when the lights go on?
He just has that swag, that demeanor about him. I mean, being the QB1 and a new team, obviously at USC he had the swag and the poise and the confidence, developing that relationship with those guys on the college level. But now we look to develop that here. So we're going to stand by one another and just back him. Whatever he wants to do, we're going to do it, and we're going to be full steam ahead.
Is there anything you remember about your rookie season, about any good advice you got, or just kind of what stands out in your mind?
Yeah, one of my coaches, Aubrey Pleasant, told me that no matter what you do, just keep your head down and just keep working. And in 10 years, when you look up, you'll be happy where you are. So that's been pretty pivotal in my career, and even off the field, just working, no matter where you are, who you are, whether you're up or down, just keep working. And you'll be glad where you are when you look up.
Thanks, Gerald.
Thank you.